And the best reference about the tranquil wisdom inside meditation that I could pick from the suttas was the Majjhima Nikaya 19, the Dvedhavitaka Sutta, the two kinds of thoughts. And that sutta is actually a very, very good sutta to introduce anyone into the practice of loving kindness and metta, because that sutta goes into the into some sort of preliminaries in terms of how one can prepare to enter the higher state of jhanas and the liberation of mind by classifying the thoughts into wholesome and unwholesome thoughts. So that's where the Buddha compares the unwholesome thoughts to akin to some sort of guiding those and the cowherds that in the last month of in the rainy season in the spring, where all the crops are thickened, where the cowherd will be tapping and poking the cows, so not so that they don't stray into the field. And he compares that to the unwholesome thoughts. That's where he see danger in that. If one indulges in those sort of unwholesome thoughts, and how one can be in trouble. Then he compares into the opposite, about how keeping those wholesome state of mind and those state of non-ill will, non-cruelty, and the renunciation, thought of renunciation, thought of non-ill will, and thought of non-cruelty. They are the what we call the Buddha's core teaching of letting go and having the loving kindness or the non-ill will, and the compassion, which is the non-cruelty. And that sutta goes into the detail of how Buddha actually managed to get into the jhanas by developing wholesome state of mind, by abandoning those unwholesome state of mind, and tranquilizing the body and mind. By developing the body, one can develop mind. That's where the Buddha clearly shows the relation between the mind and body, and how he says that if one's body is tired, one will be far from being collected. That's where that is a huge support for the tranquil wisdom in meditation, where Buddha says that you need to relax and let the body calm the body, and when you calm the body, the mind will be so the mind will not be strained. So this is a very, very important sutta, and that sutta is very important in another sense, that sutta exactly shows how the Buddha became a Buddha on the in the night of awakening, how he went through all the four jhanas, and how he discovered that the working of the karma, working of the links of dependent origination, and how the four noble truths works by way of understanding the jhana. So jhana is, and this is to support the tranquil wisdom inside meditation, because people here, they seem to think that the Buddha became a Buddha just by some sort of fluke, that suddenly all the knowledge and the understanding came into his mind, and he suddenly leapfrog into a Buddhahood by some divine power and some sort of divine knowledge. And that is not the case. So I gave those people the direct kind of source of how the Buddha became a Buddha, which is really, really very important for people to understand, because they do not even understand what the jhana is. They they do seem to practice at best the method called Vipassana, and they do think that Buddha only taught Vipassana. And this is the fundamental misunderstanding I had to dispel to bring them on board to for them to follow this type of meditation where there are both elements of tranquility and insight. So Buddha show with the wherever we read the suttas, he always mentions samatha and vipassana. So I had to dispel that myth that vipassana is the way for liberation, and I gave a simile of like a given some sort of roof that consists of two sides, one side supporting the other, and that's how a roof is made. A gable is made of two parts, left and right part. And I did say that okay, this left part is samatha and the right hand side part is your vipassana practice. And to have a roof that is working and that can sustain a house, and that covers that protect from the rain and all sort of environments, you must have that sort of two parts of the roof supporting each other. Otherwise that roof will collapse. And look, if somebody thinks that Buddha only taught vipassana, think of a roof that is half, it only consists of the right hand part. It cannot simply support any load. That roof is going to fall apart immediately. So vipassana on its own is not going to work. And I had to convince them that that by giving that sort of example, that you cannot simply practice vipassana and expect all the results that was taught, that the Buddha had given us to see for ourselves. So that was one of the kind of a very good example I came up with, and that's where it came from. I don't know. I mean, there are other equally good example, but I thought that was a very, very simple and effective way to teach people that how the samatha and vipassana work. Although there are some examples given as a wheel cart with the two wheels, and how they support each other, and a cart will go into the straight line only if two wheels are been put into that cart, and you can consider those as samatha and vipassana.